busy preparing for the autumn because at Eden we plant a lot of bulbs at this time of year. This particular year we're going to be planting, well, not just Duana and I, but amongst the team down at Eden, we're going to be planting about 87,000 bulbs. So we thought we'd be able to share a little bit of our expertise with you and encourage you to do the same at home by getting some bulbs in the ground. As it gets colder in the next few weeks, it's going to be the right time to plant bulbs at home so that in the spring you get a fantastic display. So if you're interested in getting some bulbs in your garden, we're going to have free bulbs to give away here as well. So come and find out about what to do with them, how to grow them, and we'll talk through a little bit more about them. I'm Catherine. I've worked in horticulture for about 20 years, planted a few bulbs in my time, but I now look after the Mediterranean biome down at Eden. So I grow all sorts of exotic and interesting bulbs, as well as the ones that we're familiar with in our gardens at home.
And I'm Duana, and I work outside in the pit in England, and I'm with the cropping team. And I've only been there about 8 months now, but it's all great. So the bulbs I'm involved with really organic ones like garlic and lemon and those sorts of things. So yeah, it's production then for me, though we do have a lot of narcissi outside.
In the Mediterranean biome, we grow loads and loads of tulips. So this is what a tulip looks like. Beautiful colour, they're often red or brown. Most bulbs look pretty much like this. Pointy at the top, flat at the bottom. And that's the way up that you've got to plant them in the ground. We've got some favourites. We've got a beautiful orange one which smells really sweet. But not everybody can smell it. It's called ballerina, so it's definitely one to look out for your garden. Another one of my favourites is called Maytime as well. And that's one of those 87,000 bulbs that we're going to be planting this spring. Duana, what are the favourites outside?
Outside, well, a really popular one is Narcissi Reinfeld Early Sensation. So that's a lovely daffodil. It's about 12 inches high, really nice single stem, single flower, bright yellow. And the thing with that really is that it's flowering for us well before Christmas. And the flowers last for sort of 5-6 weeks as well, so it's brilliant outside. You know, it's amazing to have daffodils at Christmas.
That's great to have daffodils at Christmas.
Also another popular one is Rick Van Winkle, and that's it's a double spiky yellow flower. It's really distinctive. You know it when you saw it.
It looks like a little star bursting out of the ground, doesn't it? Pretty freaky bulb.
Great poking out long grass, that sort of flower. It's gorgeous.
And you're going to be planting bulbs like that in the coming few weeks, ready for the spring, yeah? Let me talk about a bulb, because, I mean, to be honest, it looks pretty dead, doesn't it? Why does it do this? Why does it just disappear, hide away into the sort of just brown piece? I mean, if I saw one of these on the ground, I wouldn't think that was going to do anything. But bulbs are really well designed. Basically, they're hiding from extremes of weather. Anybody think what they might be hiding from? What would you want to hide from in the year? What do you think? Let's find out. What do you think? What do you think a bulb might hide from? What sort of weather? If you were a bulb, what weather would you want to hide from? Snow. Winter, yes! If I was a bulb, I'd want to get back down under the ground where it's nice and warm. Well done. So a lot of bulbs like tulips come from high mountain areas where it is freezing cold in the winter and baking hot in the summer. So they come up and grow during the spring where there's plenty of moisture, but then they hide back down underneath the ground again. Some bulbs that we grow also hide away from the summer and then grow in the autumn time. So that's another interesting way of getting colour in the autumn by planting bulbs as well. Inside here is everything that this plant needs to grow except one thing. Anybody got any idea what that is? Water. Is that what you were going to say too? Thank you very much. So we'll see here, we've got a succulent. It's just doing its thing, look. Nothing's been added to it. It's got enough energy in there. It's basically a food store being held in there, sending out the flowers. I haven't even given it any water yet, but all it really needs is a bit of water. And if you've ever tried growing hyacinths at home, you will know that. This bulb doesn't need planting, nothing special. Get a jam jar with a narrow neck. This isn't a great example, I know. Fill it up with water, so the water sits just below the hyacinth, not quite touching it. The roots will grow down, put it somewhere cool and dark. When the little shoots, a couple of centimetres high, bring it in the house, and you'll find then that you get this amazing flower, really sweetly scented, really early in the spring. Great present for your mum for Christmas as well. So hyacinths are definitely a fun thing to do. Even if you haven't got a garden, you can grow a hyacinth. And if you have got a garden, then you plant them out in the garden and enjoy them for years to come.
Absolutely. I mean, really, there's no excuse not to plant bulbs. They're so easy. And you can have displays going throughout the year. But really, we're here to talk about spring bulbs, and the list is just, it's endless. So you've got irises, narcissi, tulips, scilla as well. There's just so many bulbs you can have for flowering in spring.
And what's really interesting is the really early spring bulbs are usually quite tiny. Think about little snowdrops, they're small, aren't they? And as you progress through the spring, they get bigger and bigger and bigger until you get ones that are even bigger than Duana, but that doesn't say that much. You get great big alliums with heads like this big, great big purple balls through the garden. They look amazing. So if you've got space for something like that, now's the time to buy them, get them planted when the weather gets cooler, and they'll do amazing things in the spring.
Yeah, that's it. In the next few weeks, we need to be planting those bulbs, really. It's a bit warm at the moment. We're having this Indian summer, but once that's gone and the weather starts getting cold again, that's the perfect time to plant the bulbs, and they'll be flowering in spring, so it's so easy.
Yeah. Shall we show you what to do, though, just in case you've never done it before? Anybody want to help us?
Any volunteers?
You don't have to, if you'd like to. Obviously we haven't got a garden here, but we've got lots of pots. So, a few key things with bulbs. If you are planting them in pots, they need quite free draining compost. They don't like it heavy and stodgy. They need something light and airy. Great, you're going to come and help. I really need help because I need somebody to get some compost in these pots. Do you mind getting muddy? No, go on, go for it. You fill them up. Yeah, fill them up. Yeah. So bulb compost normally is quite light and airy, but if you plant them in the ground, ensure it's somewhere where it's not going to get waterlogged in the winter. These poor little things are going to sit right through the winter. They don't want to get too wet. Brilliant, that looks great. What's your name? Hey, thank you, Thomas. So Thomas has filled it up a couple inches from the top. The really great thing though, when you plant up a pot full of bulbs, you don't just choose one bulb, you can put lots of different ones in. And I mentioned that they're different heights, didn't I? So you can have short ones and tall ones. And they usually flower at different times too, so you can get the small crocuses coming up and then they get followed on by the daffodils. Does that sound good? So we'll get some daffodils in first because they're a bit bigger. And you typically plant a bulb about 2 times as deep as it is. So the pointy bit at the top, the bit where the roots are coming out at the bottom, and you plant it 2 times as deep in the ground. Sometimes pots there isn't quite enough room, so it has to be a bit more shallow. So do you want to put about 5 of those in there? If anybody else wants to do one too, then do you want to come and do one as well?
Do you want to fill this pot up?
Fill up that one.
There you go.
That's it. So you just put those sitting on there. So there's a few more for you. Woo.
Bit more.
And we've mentioned that these bulbs have got everything in them already to produce the flowers and the leaves. All they need is for us to give them the water, and the compost is going to give them a bit of food too. So if you get some daffodils in yours as well, what's your name? Ben. Hi Ben, well done. Do you like gardening at home? Yeah? So we're getting some daffodils planted in the pots. That's it, not too deep, brilliant, just put them in. But we're not just going to plant daffodils, we're going to then layer the crocus on top. But you can think about all sorts of other bulbs. You could plant a layer of tulips, a layer of daffodils and crocus and mascari, so that your pot flowers for a long, long time in the spring. Right lads, you ready for the next batch? So
Do you want to lift your pots just on the table then, so everyone can see? Yeah.
And if you put some more compost on the top, and then you can have some crocus as well. So this is what we need to do at this time of year.